Well, my next guest, he's originally from Tucson, Arizona, but now he calls Chico, California home for getting up to speed. We're going to be talking to Nick Parker about his adjustment, moving to the Golden State, and going to a lot of new racetracks in the last couple of years and what that adjustment has been like. That's coming up next here on Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge, after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. Well, he's joining me here with Getting Up to Speed. He drives the number 115 entry now, calls Chico, California home. It's Nick Parker. Nick, great to have you on the show and really excited for this interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I say calling Chico, California home because Tucson, Arizona is where you hung your hat for most of your life, but a recent relocation for you guys and your race team.
Yeah, we're based out of Tucson. Race sprint cars started in 2014, and we small team, one motor, one chassis, very, very limited parts, and got very few races in. And then just started building the program up. And as we were building, Arizona started deconstructing and really no racing to be had over there. Started traveling a little bit more and decided California was the best fit for us, closest to home, and the best that we could really find closest to home. So just trying to find our feet here in Cali, and we've had some decent runs and really not very many good ones. So it just comes down to a little bit more time here. The tracks are substantially different out here in Cali. We have short tracks here. In Arizona, you had tracks like USA, Manzanita, Arizona Speedway, and very, very few and slim to tracks like here in Cali. But no, we're excited to be here, and we're not going anywhere. So that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, for the most part, they're all 3/8 and some of them really big 3/8 like Cocopah in Arizona. And whereas here you have like a variety of high bank quarter miles. I mean, you have, all sorts of, like Petaluma, Adobe Clay, 3/8, all sorts of different variations where it's a bit different in Arizona. Like it just seems the material's a little bit different too.
Yeah, you come from a hot desert, and the track's usually slicked off by the heat races, and there's never really any cushion because of the quality of cars, the quality of the track. So I've never even really seen a cushion until I got to California. So trying to get up there, it's been a big hiccup for me. But you know what? That's why we're out here to get better. And I think it's just only going to make me better, our team better. And luckily we have a good crew chief, Sean Greeley, knows the ropes around here and can get us around pretty decent. And it really just comes down to me and figuring this stuff out. And, I think we can do it. I mean, we showed potential early in the night, and I just struggle at the end with a full fuel load. And, that's really what it comes down to. And I just need more of those situations where I'm up front and, can just calm myself down and get through those first 5 laps and then just get to ripping. So no, it's been good. We coming from Tucson, it's hot, it's dry, and I come to Chico and it's a little bit of the same. as you know, we've just got Silver Dollar canceled here, and I was actually looking forward to the heat because that's what I know. So
Sure.
everyone's complaining about the heat over here, and it's what we know. And like right now, it's 113 in Arizona, and call everyone like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not that hot, and so
Yeah.
it's just what you deal with 5 months out of the year. So,
Sure.
racing does slow down a little bit in summer over there, but back then it didn't. There was times where it'd be leaving the track at 2 a.m. and you look at the Shamrock billboard and it'd still be 105.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what it is, and fans know that. But over here, it's a little bit different, and I get it from a fan standpoint. You don't want to go sit in some hot bleachers and sweat your ass off till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and same with the racers and staff, and it's not as fun as it could be, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, and we'll move on, and we're looking at the Oregon Speed Weeks all the way up to Skagit Nationals, 360 Nationals, and I think that's our main focus right now is just get geared up for next week and then head up to Skagit next Saturday. So,
well, that's awesome. And I was going to say, I don't know how much of a shocker was this for you, because it was a very, very wet winter and spring in Northern California.
Okay.
I mean,
I wasn't here yet.
Yeah.
I did hear about it. It was kind of the same way in Arizona. Tucson, we had record rainfall and rained about just every day, and it was one of our best summers. I had a couple of friends down from New Zealand, and I was like, get ready for the heat after Skagit, and got back and I don't think it poked over 100. So
wow.
Yep. So yeah, it's the record rainfall. You wouldn't think it'd be so hot, but
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah, from one extreme to the other. You mentioned
Exactly.
You mentioned USA Raceway, and I had only been there once, and it was a day race, and that's a place that I wish would be open a lot more. And this for people that don't know, it's in Tucson, Arizona. It's the dirt track that they have there, and hosted the Wild West Shootout for late models, lots of outlaw races, ASCS National Tours there, and a ton of ASCS Southwest region races ran there over the years.
Yes. As I started getting going, the track had started to kind of fall apart a little bit, management, and it's owned by someone who's not a racer, thinks more of legit business sense, and as like everyone in California knows, the towns are building around these tracks, and the property's only getting more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what happened in Arizona and Tucson is he's trying to get rid of the property, sell it, but doesn't want anyone to lease it. So therefore, the track still stands there today. And they've talked about knocking it down, building properties, and then it falls under. And then someone comes across, I've got the lease, and they're going to start running races, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
And ran, I want to say 2018. And we had a couple races to build it back up, and just the fans weren't coming. And it's what it is when you have a track dormant for so long. It's people forget. So
yeah,
we had a couple years where they ran 10 races or so, and it just never built back what it used to be. And really what it used to be was a modified track. I mean, every Saturday night you had, a C main in the modifieds. You had guys like the Barnetts coming down, Rolla Jones, Bumper Jones, Jeremy Payne, really a really good caliber modified guys. So that's really what that track thrived on. And yeah, it's just the Southwest. It's really dulled down in racing, and that's why we've come out to California. So
yeah, I was there in 2000. They recently renamed it Wildcat Raceway or something like that, and they had a race. It was in the daytime, and Johnny Herrera won the wing portion, and that was pretty. Him and Rick Zeal battled really good, and then the non-wing race, I think R.J. Johnson won, and that one was really crazy because it was a day race, and there was a ton of lead changes. Even though it was a day race, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like a pavement race. And it really didn't turn out that way. It really raced really well. And one of the things that was really cool that I think it was the and correct me if I'm wrong, the stalls, like where the transports would go, were pretty much concrete slabs, but then they were divided by like K-rails or jersey barriers. So there was a clear division of where you could be parked and stuff. And that just like opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nice.
Yeah, no, Tucson was a really nice facility, and it still is. It's I drove by it every day for 2 or 3 years getting to work, and you could see the downfall of the place, but it still had potential. The bleachers, the grandstands, the concessions were beautiful. They were built on all asphalt, and some with the pits, on concrete slabs, and it was just a great facility back in the day, and everyone loved going there. I mean, it was a Saturday night. Every Saturday night you had racing going. You were there. You were at the dirt track, and so it's a real bummer to see it go. We've had USA Raceway go away. Let's see, ET Arizona Speedway. Same thing. They mowed it down about 3 years ago and put houses on it. Back in when I was real young, never got to race there, but Manzanita Speedway was the place to go. Just like Knoxville, long, real wide, fast, and I've seen tons of Western Worlds there, and it was just a good time all around. So
sure, yeah,
it really sucks.
Yeah, and then
we've had
Canyon, right? Peoria.
We've had Canyon close, Prescott. They just reopened Sholo. Heard it's coming back to life a little bit. The track surface is still not what it used to be, but with some time, and that's the thing with the racers in Arizona is it's because it died. It's hard to get people to come back when you've had a taste of not going racing, wasting your money, and you can go on the boat and have a good time and do it the way you want to instead of, racing all the time. As we know, it is fun, but it is a job. So, that's just the nature of it in Arizona. And I'd love to see it come back. They've had some races down there early in the year, later in the year. And, Cocopah, we went up there in February and November, and that place was fun. We had a lot of good feedback from guys from California, Dominic, even Austin Carr was out there, and they had nothing but good words for it. So I think it could come back around. It's gonna need some stability and guys like from California to come out and have good words for it, and then we could start building it back up. But it's just tough when you only get 6-7 cars that show up, and the fans, they don't want to see that, especially on those big tracks. It widens out, it spreads out, and the racing's just it's real dull, So, but you get 24 guys out there, and it's like the Knoxville, it's just it's good racing. Guys are passing, but that's what the fans want to see, and you just don't get that much anymore. So. And otherwise, I'd be over there if we were racing, if we had the car count like we used to, and we did at one point, and it got harder and harder to race because we had nowhere to race. So
yeah, and I remember Winter Heat. That was a big deal. That was 2015, 2016, basically the first couple weeks of those years in January. That was a big deal at Cocopah Speedway, and it drew a lot of good cars, and it was 410s, which, there wasn't really any 410s in Arizona, but it definitely got a lot of people excited for wing sprint car racing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what was so great about Arizona is you could race all year round. And it really does suck because that was our home state. We had some really good racing, good tracks to race on, and it's just not that way anymore. But the winter heat was a good deal. We had a lot of people who went up there and said it was great racing, and then they also did it at Arizona Speedway and something like that. And they had Lance Louise come out all the way out from Pennsylvania, Donnie Shaw, guys out here from California even went, and it was a good time. If you're not racing over here, it's really the only place to race is in Arizona because the weather's still fairly good. I mean, it's 80s and it's December.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's just a bummer, but that's why we come out to California and try to stamp our name.
Well, switching gears, you mentioned Sean Greeley. He's prepping your race car. How did that connection start? Who kind of contacted who?
So it all really started. I think it was 2020. No, 2021 was our first Trophy Cup, and a good buddy of ours, Perry McMillan, had always been in contact with the Williams team, buying cars, buying parts here and there, a lot of their used stuff, and I ended up with a Williams car at one point through Perry McMillan, and he hit up Ashley one day. He's like, "Hey, do you think I got a guy here in Tucson? He's a pretty good driver and he can hold his own, and they really want to go out to Trophy Cup." So that's really how it started. And then we ended up in Oakhurst the night before Trophy Cup that Wednesday, and Sean was at the shop and looked at our car and introduced ourselves, and we didn't make a fool out of ourselves at Trophy Cup. So then made a little bit of a connection there, and then that following year, racing was really diminished in Arizona, and it was like, man, we got to make a move. Like, we have the equipment, we really don't want to go out to the Midwest just because it's so damn far.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so contacted Sean, and he was just in the move to Chico with his family. So it all really just worked out perfect. And yeah, no, it's been good. We've been here a year and a half now and got the ball rolling. We had a shop over at his father-in-law's and not very much room, so we ended up getting a shop over here by Tyner Hurst, and it's really worked out well. So looking forward to the year, and Sean's been such a great help to us and our team, and hopefully we can get some good runs going here.
Yeah. I got you down for 17 feature starts this year. 3 top 10s. Your best run, a 6th place finish at Central Arizona Raceway with ASCS Southwest and Casa Grande on March 11th, and a couple of 10th place results at in 410 action. One at Silver Dollar Speedway, finished 10th, and then Petaluma Speedway a couple weeks ago with NARC. It kind of seems that things are. I mean, you got a steep learning curve, still adjusting to the California style, but I mean, putting in some decent results, especially that 10th place at Petaluma.
Yeah, no, it's nothing to be, real excited about, but yes, we are making strides and getting better, and that's all we can really ask for is just to get better every race, and we feel we've done that, and just got to keep going to the racetrack. That's really what it comes down to, and just get behind the wheel and getting acclimated, and the 410s have really pushed me because that's basically my very first year in 410s. I had a couple starts last year, but getting used to the 410s is a lot to learn. So I think that'll only help me get back into a 360. It's been, I want to say, almost 3 months since I've been in a 360 due to some motor problems, but we're getting those worked out, and hopefully we'll get it back this Friday, and then we'll head up to Oregon Speed Week with 360 and end up in Skagit for the 360 Nationals. So that would be really good for our team.
And you guys have been in the Northwest earlier this year. How How crazy was it? Fun? Was it challenging, or a little bit of both? To fastest 4 days in motorsports, and then Dirt Cup. Tell me about that experience.
No, it was really good. We had some really good help. Had my buddy Lance and my brother Thomas come out, who were the guys who always helped me at the racetrack in Arizona, and to get them back out here in the California, or excuse me, Oregon and Washington, that was really, really good for them. And it was good for Sean as well. He's been working his ass off, usually by himself, sometimes with somebody who we pick up, just doing the little things. But no, it was good. The good weather, different tracks. And, we did all right. It was really the only time that I felt that if I can get all these laps in, it'll just better me. And I think it did. I came back home, I came back to California, and getting back to these tracks, I was like, you know what? Like, I feel so much more comfortable. I know it's short track and you're not going that fast, but I felt like I was hauling ass with the 410.
Mm-hmm.
And to come back to Petaluma, and then last week, Ocean, I even looked at Sean. I told him, like, I feel comfortable. I don't feel like the car's driving me anymore. So that's a plus, and that's why you do those swings, So you just get better. I always tell guys back home, because they're so hit and miss with their racing, said, if you're going to go race, go find 1 or 2 weeks to do as much racing as you can, because you will learn tenfold of what you'll learn all year doing the same amount of racing. It's like anything, you do something every day, you're going to get acclimated. The repetition, you just get better. So that swing really helped our team. The Gold Cup was our second Dirt Cup. That was our second Dirt Cup. And first one last year we didn't make it, missed it by 1, and this year we made it. So, you could see the gains in our team. And no, it really just comes down to more laps for myself and getting Shiggy, getting Sean Greeley. It's more custom my driving style. We've had some very, very good drivers: Jonathan Allard, Bud Katie, Al Hurd, Dominic Silvey, and everyone's different. So trying to get myself acclimated to him, and likewise for him, to me, it's been a challenge. That's for sure.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And I have an interesting question for you. So you're one of the few people that run a triple digit number, like the 115. What's the story behind that?
So the story behind that is out in Arizona, there was, excuse me, sorry, I got guys grinding over here. I'm not over at the shop right now, and got people almost asking me questions, but no, the 115 comes from my earlier days. So I used to race mod lights.
Okay.
And there was 2 guys with number 15. So I just added a 1 to it, for the scores. And it stuck around, and I've always liked the triple digit, because out in Tucson with the modifieds, a lot of guys had triple digits with the little 1s on them.
Yeah.
The little 1 in the front. So I always liked that. And I was a real big Jeremy Payne fan with the modifieds, and he had 186 with the little 1. So I always liked it, and it kind of stuck. I've been getting some feedback on it, and not many people agree with me that they like it, and I might even drop it next year. Just because there's really no one out here that has 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the World of Outlaws do, I could just throw a letter on it. Really won't matter. But that, and also come from a little bit of motocross background, where when you're in the lower ranks, you run a triple digit number.
Mm-hmm.
So that really where it stems from. And it's just stuck.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, that's really cool that it was the first digit was little and the other 2 big, because for whatever reason, for modified racing in Bakersfield, there's a lot of guys that have like a big one, and then they'll have like, and to make it even a little trickier, they'll have their little numbers in that one, like Ethan Dodson or there was just so many drivers that had that style that Tyler Bannister. It's just funny how things work with triple digit numbers.
Yeah, I agree. And no, it's what they used to do back in the day, and it seems like they've gone away from it and switched it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're that's what I used to never run the little one, and then like I said, I started racing, and a lot of these guys had 15. I'm like, you know what? I liked back in the day what those guys used to do, and I'm gonna do it. So I did, and it's really not, I don't go out, I need to change my number. And it's really not that big of a deal to me. Some people make it out, but number's a number, it's not. Now with the transponders, it really doesn't matter.
Sure,
You don't even need numbers. Guys don't run numbers on their tail tank. Back in the day, we used to have to run numbers on the nose wing.
Wow.
Yeah, because there really wasn't any transponders at some of the tracks that we had.
Sure.
But, scores need to see the car, and know who's going by. So that's what it really comes down to. Is it doesn't matter much anymore. But now looking maybe change it for next year. That's for sure.
Well, something that's new, well, not new, but something that happened, I think, right around Fastest 4 Days of Motorsports. You got a new run of apparel and a couple different variety of shirts that folks can purchase.
Yeah. I have my Parker Automotive shirts and jackets. It's the Hot Wheels logo, and there's plenty more at home. It's just what we had in stock. And with the Hot Wheels Challenge, Ultimate Challenge on TV, I'm like, you know what? Let's bring those out and see if we can sell them. And I have.
That's awesome.
And most people don't really care for the Hot Wheels. Most of the people buy it because their kid's name's Parker, their nephew, niece, whatever. So I might get a couple bites there, but I've had the racing shirts for a little bit now, and I can't really sell them because we're not running that good. So,
well,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if somebody's listening right now and they want to support the 115 operation, do you have a site or a social media page that they can do a direct order?
I don't have like a Spotify or whatever where you could buy your shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go to my racing page, Nick Parker Racing, on Facebook and Instagram. And now Thread, and also Twitter.
Okay.
But you can just direct message me on there, and we can get you situated.
Awesome. Well, they look great. I'm actually going to need to pick one up myself before the year's up too.
Okay, very good.
But
we can do that.
But so head to the Pacific Northwest this coming weekend. I assume going to be filling out finishing the year off with NARC. Any other things that you guys are going to try and do before the year's over?
No, not typically. As the schedule changes here and there with the weather or whatnot, that's why we're going up to Oregon. We would be staying in town if they were racing, but as of right now, just run the rest of the NARC series and hit as many races as we can here. That's the goal. I think we had 50 odd races this year that we had scheduled, and I think we've missed maybe 3 or 4 of them. So probably estimated around 50 shows this year. And just staying in California. We might venture off a little bit next year to the Midwest, but that just really depends on how we do here and if we have the equipment to go out there. So
sure. And Trophy Cup will be on one of the fall specials that you guys will run?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, talking about a Midwest trip and even the trip up here, it's not a cheap travel. Holy smokes. Like looking at the petrol costs they're not going down anytime soon. But I know that you've got a great group of sponsors and people that make sure that your entry is racing every week.
Yeah, I know. Our supporters, our sponsors have been really good to us this year. I have Metal Tech on top of the wing with Steve Lone. He's been very good, generous this year. TDR Concepts, they keep my car looking fresh with graphics out of Tucson, Arizona. And then I also have Rock Knocker in Phoenix, which is a side-by-side mud flap. Keep all your suspension parts and moving parts clean. And then I also have BG, which is an oil, very good oil that we use in our rear ends, our motors, and keep us stocked up on any kind of fluids and oils that we need. And yeah, they've been very good to us, and we're looking forward to this year. And I also have Parker Automotive on the side, which is my dad's business in Tucson. And thankful for my family to, have me out here doing what I love to do. So they go out there and sweat their asses off and work every day, and I can over here have fun. So, very appreciative to my family over there. And they're very supportive of the racing. So that's good, So it's a family deal, It was always my dad and my brothers would go racing, and we stepped it up and hired a crew chief and, have another shop we call the West Parker, So, no, it's been good. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of fun out here, but we're looking to get better. That's for sure.
For sure. Well, it's been great getting to know you through the season, because I had seen you a couple times last year, but this year, pretty much there for a while we were just hanging out pretty much every week. But looking forward to seeing you up here in my neck of the woods.
Yes, of course. And I would assume you're going to be at some of the Oregon races. So yeah, come on by and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nick, stay cool, and we'll be definitely seeing you soon.
Will do. Thank you very much, Ben.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview, race fans. Again, be sure and hit like, subscribe, and get the latest and greatest news, whether it's getting up to speed, inside NARC, or Sprint Car News today. If you subscribe on the YouTube channel, it'll get you those notifications as soon as all the new episodes come out. In the meantime, everybody have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening, and we'll be back next time with more stuff from Highside Racing Promotions.